Those are your 9 contenders then. In the order that they will run, it will be Jorge Casales to go first here at X-Trial Barcelona 2021, followed by Great Britain's Toby Martin. And we'll see Gabriel Marseille, Mikhail Jalaber, 1 or 2 doubts about his fitness, of course, after that spill in Andorra. Then Gironi Fajardo, Matteo Grattarola, the Italian, Jaime Busto, and then the 2 World Championship contenders, Adam Rugg and Tony Bowe. Running order right to left across your screen. We'll be getting underway very shortly indeed here at X-Trial Barcelona. Very large crowd in attendance, as you can see here at the Palau Sant Jordi. It is great to have crowds back at sporting events after all the uncertainties caused by the pandemic over the last couple of years. X-Trial is back in the big time here in Barcelona, and we are ready to crown a world champion here this evening. Who is it going to be? Will it be Adam Rugg? Will it be Tony Bowe for the 15th year in succession? Bowe on 20 points, Rugg on 15 after the opening round. Jaime Busto sits third on 12. Matteo Grattarola, the surprise packet undoubtedly of the first round in Andorra, 4th in the World Championship. Ready to get underway then. First to go on the gas is Jorge Casales. This may well be his final appearance for gas. It was recently announced that his contract is ending with the team. Scored 2 podiums in his X-Trial career so far at X-Trial Andorra La Vella in 2019 and here in Barcelona in 2020. But he had a disastrous opening round in Andorra La Vella a couple of weeks ago. He was all over the place and finished 9th and last, so he is desperate to improve here this evening. 4th in the World Championship last year for Gas. He really does need some improvements here this evening. Referee just speaking to him there. The rider from Galicia in Spain, one of 7 Spaniards in the field tonight. 26-year-old warming up his gas machine, ready for the first of 5 sections in this opening lap of the evening. The riders have 5 minutes to complete them. Like to drop as few marks as possible. So here we go, the X-Trial Barcelona 2021 about to get underway. Jorge Casales, the first of the 9 riders to go. Psyching himself up there, his minder in position, and here we go. Drop a mark for leaning straight away there. The sump guard of the machine catching on the first obstacle there. He's got himself into a little bit of a spot of bother already here. Jorge Casales tries to turn the bike across. He has to drop down onto the lower part of the obstacle. Quite a long section to open the evening here. The first of 5 sections in this opening lap of the evening. He's taking his time here, Jorge Casales. He's dropped 1 mark already. May have dropped 2 there, yes. Second finger goes up from the FIM observer. May drop a 3rd, yep, there goes a 3rd for leaning. I think that might go down as a fail, yes. That will be a failed section for Jorge Casales, so a maximum score of 5. 9 marks for leaning and footing there before he'd really got halfway through the section. He moves on to section 2 on a maximum score so far, Jorge Casales. Section 2. This is a pretty tricky looking one, some very high obstacles in this section, but Casales is up the first obstacle. He's keeping his balance there. It's all about balance, skill, precision and upper body strength to be able to lift the motorcycle up onto the obstacle. He's got a large gap to clear here. Casales managed it. This is good so far. The Vertigo sponsored section 2. Very high obstacle next up. Probably get Vertigo going up that high. Taking his time again here. Up he goes. Yes, this is good. This is very good from Jorge Casales. Nice recovery after a maximum score of 5 marks on our first section. Across the gap. Oh, he goes forward and he's down. Oh, what a shame. He was going so well there, Jorge Casales. That's a 2nd fiasco in a row. Maximum score of 10 marks after section 2. It's not going well. You can see he's very frustrated with himself there. And it's across the arena to section 3, the Trial Parts Company sponsored section there. This one looks a little easier at first sight, but there's some big gaps to be covered between the elements of section 3 here. Casales on a maximum of 10 marks so far. Not one to finish last for a second X-Trial in a row, but he's down once again. It's all going wrong for Jorge Casales for the second X-Trial in a row. A maximum score of 15 marks so far. See the frustration from the Galician rider. Now it's on to section 4. This is more like an outdoor trial GP section, the logs and the rocks. It's the end of this section, the trickiest. That turn over the 2 tree trunks is going to catch a few riders out, I reckon. We'll see how Casales gets on here. Up and over the rocks. Drop a mark there, he's all over the place. He's dropped 3 marks there, in fact. 1 for leaning and 2 for footing, I think, have gone down there. 3 fingers up from the FIM observer. Casales, this is sadly a continuation of his X-Trial Andorra La Vella. He's all over the place, and he goes down there to a 4th consecutive maximum score. 20 marks out of 20, and now it's time for the traditional final obstacle of each lap here at the Palau Sant Jordi. Some call it the stairway to heaven, but sadly, so far, this has been a highway to hell for Jorge Casales. He will not want a full maximum score here. 1 mark drop for leaning there on that second obstacle. Try again here, that's better. He's trying to at least complete one of the sections in this first lap. He's going much better here. Try not to throw it all away at the end. You can see that's a big gap to cover there. Don't want to get the machine trapped in between the 2 blocks there. He's just got to go over to the right and over the top to at least complete a section. Just 1 mark drop for leaning so far in this section 5 of our first lap here at X-Trial Barcelona. Try and get over the top to at least complete 1 section. It's this 1 obstacle to go over the top, and he's done it. So Jorge Casales at least completes 1 section up into the stands here at the Palau Sant Jordi. 1 mark drop for leading, that's a total of 21 for Jorge Casales, and sadly it is looking unlikely that he will get through to the heat section round 2. 4 consecutive fiascos there in the first 4 sections, at least completed section 5. Now, let's see what Toby Martin can do. The man from Cornwall in England, 21 years of age, mounted on the TRS, teammate to Adam Rugg. He's made 3 X-Trial appearances so far. So we look back at some highlights of Jorge Casales' run. There weren't many highlights, to tell the truth. Accruing too many marks in the first half of that long section 1. It was going better in section 2, to give Casales some credit, but he landed too hard there and went over the front of the machine. We did improve to climb the stairway in section 5 with just that 1 mark drop for leaning, encouraged by the big crowd right in among the spectators there as he completed section 5. 21 marks to beat then for Toby Martin. First shot to prominence a couple of years ago at the X-Trial of Nations at Vendée in France, where he helped Great Britain finish in 3rd place. He had the biggest smile in all of France at the conclusion of that evening. Started off very well indeed at X-Trial Andorra La Vella 2 weeks ago as well. He dropped just 1 mark in the first 3 sections of his first lap, but then fell away with 3 consecutive failures and was eliminated, finishing in 8th place. Toby Martin limbers up then, psychs himself up ready for section 1. In he goes, straight up, and will drop a mark for leaning already. And 1 for footing as well. Got himself into a bit of a tangle there, but has recovered from that. Pulls the machine back to take a bit of a run up at the next obstacle, trying to use that Mundo Deportivo block as a bit of a ramp here, perhaps, to try and clear that next gap. It's a long section, this one. He's up and over the top, and it's worked nicely, but he has dropped a mark for leaning. 3 marks down for Toby Martin. Not enjoying the good run he had in the early stages of X-Trial Andorra La Vella. He's got to use plenty of power and strength here to get up over this next obstacle. Mind Michael Brown staying behind him there. Now as the machine up and over the top he goes. That's better from Toby Martin, and he's through the first rider to complete section 1. 3 marks drop though for Toby Martin. To get 21 is the score to beat if he's to finish above Jorge Casales. Now on to section 2. This is a tricky one. A double A-frame, and he'll drop a mark for leaning there already. See the front part of the machine between the wheels there. No, he's out of the section. So that's 5 marks for Toby Martin. He moves on to 8. Still 2 ahead of Jorge Casales was at this stage. He was on a maximum. Toby Martin probably decided at discretion is the better part of valour and trying to save a bit of time. Riders have 5 minutes to complete all 5 of the sections in their opening lap of the evening. Now on to section number 3. Big gaps to be crossed in this section. Toby Martin brings himself up. It's over the first obstacle. It's a round of applause from the big Catalonian crowd. Taking his time a little here, he can afford to with him effectively skipping section 2. He goes over the top there, he may drop a mark for footing there. 2 marks dropped in fact on that drop. Keeping it going, there'll be another mark drop there. His left foot just touched the obstacle there. Keeps the front wheel up, keeps it going. I think that's going to be a 5 possibly. I saw the observer's hand go into the air. I think he may have just dropped 1 more mark on that final section. It is a 5 for Toby Martin, so he's on 13 marks. Still 2 ahead of Jorge Casales was at this stage. He's got 8 marks to play with if he's going to finish ahead of the Galician. Now into section number 4. This is a tricky one. Rocks and the tree trunks. Over the first part, okay. Moreno Piazza, the observer, looking on the left of your picture as Toby Martin brings it up onto the end of this tricky climb. I think there'll be a mark go for leaning there. Tricky to see from that angle. Onto the boulders. Steady run by Toby Martin, but accruing marks all the time. Only completed 1 section successfully, and that was section 1, where he picked up 3 marks. This is a better run in section 4. And he makes it through. Nicely done, Toby Martin. And that's a clean run as well. I thought he dropped a mark there for leaning early on, but in fact that's not the case. So that's our first clean section we've seen of anyone in this first lap of X-Trial Barcelona. Good stuff, Toby Martin. Now, the stairway to heaven. Riders have a number of different approaches to this. Toby Martin attacking the first obstacles there. This is a good run. It's clean so far. Not a bad score if he can clean this one. He's very quick up there. This is a good run. Still the finger hasn't gone up, so no marks dropped for Toby Martin. 2 blocks to go. Keeping it steady here. This is very good. Oh, and he drops a mark for leaning there on the penultimate obstacle, and 1 for footing as well as he manoeuvres the machine across, but he will complete the section. 2 marks dropped. And that's a score of 15 for Toby Martin. That's not a bad run. See if he can make it through into the heat section for the first time in his X-Trial career. He's never made it into the top 6 of an X-Trial. 2 riders complete, 7 to go. Toby Martin making it through section 1, the first rider to do so. He drops a mark for leaning right at the end there, just clipped the sump on the final obstacle. Now, first clean of the entire X-Trial in section 4. Going well in section 3 as well, but dropped a couple of marks early on. That just to prove his downfall as he eventually failed the section. So Toby Martin on 15, Jorge Casales 21. Next out is young Gabriel Marseille. He's 21 years of age, 7th in the X-Trial World Championship in 2020. 1 podium in X-Trial Budapest. 1 mark off qualifying for the heat section X-Trial Andorra la Vella 2 weeks ago. Just warming up his tyre there on the Montesa machine. From the same area of Spain, Galicia, as Jorge Casales. Finished 8th at the Palau Sant Jordi last season. looking to improve on that here. Marks the score for Toby Martin. Can Marseille better that? Psychs himself up, ready for section 1. Ready, he'll drop a mark for leaning, and he's gone. Down goes Gabriel Marseille. 5 mark score from section 1. He's the second rider to fail section 1 after Jorge Casales. Falls at the first hurdle, really, there. Nobody has yet completed section 2. This is a very tricky looking one. The Vertigo section. Vertigo out later on, written by Jaime Busto. See on the Montesa Honda. Steady there over that double A frame. Big gap to clear here, very little purchase to get onto it, but he's done so. This seemingly insurmountable looking step to the highest parts, virtually the entire course, certainly of this first lap. Plenty of power, he's up. Drop a mark for leaning there. This is a good run by Gabriel Marseille. Now he's got the big drop ahead before he goes on to effectively the second half of this section 2. This is where Jorge Casales came to grief. Vicious use of the brakes there from Gabriel Marseille. This is the first we've seen anyone get on section 2. Taking his time here. Power it up. Over the top, then into this second archway, effectively. He goes, can he keep it there? Just about. It up, not quite. He'll keep trying. No, he's going to go. Down goes Gabriel Marseille. That's the third rider to fail section 2. That's 2 maximum scores so far for Marseille. Same score that Jorge Casales had at this stage. Really needs to complete, I would say, 2 of the final 3 sections of this lap if he's going to stand a chance of getting beyond the preliminary round. Nicely done into section 3 there. No marks dropped on the first 2 obstacles. This is a good run in section 3 for Gabriel Marseille. Nicely across the gap there. Confident. This is the trickiest step. You can see the length of that gap. And he's got to keep the momentum effectively to clear the next one. A little bit of a wobble there. I don't think the foot went down. No, it didn't. It's good stuff. It's clean so far in section 3, Marseille. Are we going to see the second clean of this first lap? It's the front wheel up. This is good. That's very good. Well done, Gabriel Marseille. That is a clean in section 3. Remains on 10 marks. He could be the lowest scoring rider so far. Let's see how he gets on in section 4. Nice rapid starts. Toby Martin clean this section. Easing it across there. A sharp climb onto the tree trunk there. Eases it across. Clean so far. Fairly steady early on. He could run short on time here. Only 1 minute left. He'll possibly drop a mark for leaning there. Yes, he has. Bottom of the machine just clipped the edge of that tree trunk. Just the front wheel up. It's looking good. Just 1 mark dropped. Bounces across in good style there by Marseille. Just 1 mark dropped in section 4. But he's only got 40 seconds to complete the final section. He's on 11 marks. He's going to have to attack here. It'll be an automatic 5 mark score if he runs out of time. He will only be 1 mark behind Toby Martin if he does fail section 5. Good stuff. 20 seconds on the clock. He's going to have to push on a little here. He's doing so. It's going to be tight for Gabriel Marchais. Needs to make it across there. Nobody's cleaned this final obstacle so far. Up and over he goes. He puts a foot down. He's going to finish just in time, I think. Very tight on time, but he's completed it. Using all the time available there, Gabriel Marchais. Just one mark dropped as well for footing. 12 marks for Gabriel Marchais. That could be enough to put him into the final 6. It's a great performance. He could go into the next round. Next up it will be Mikhail Jalaber. Few doubts on his fitness, of course. Looked a little cagey early on, failing the first 2 sections. But then a clean in section 3. The first rider to clean section 3. And just 1 mark dropped on the final, each of the final 2 sections. He's tight on time as well. That's a very good run by Gabriel Marchais. 12 marks so far. Mikhail Jalaber then. His task is to score less than 12 to secure passage to round 2. There are some doubts on his fitness after a fall at X-Trial Andorra la Vella 2 weeks ago. Picked up a knee injury, but he's fit to ride. Plenty of support for Mikhail here this evening. In front of his local crowd, born in Barcelona, lives in Girona. First saw X-Trial as an excited spectator as a young boy. It was his dream to become a professional trials rider, and now here he is. Mounted on the gas. See how he gets on here. 12 marks is the time. Into section 1 he goes. He'll drop a mark straight away for leaning. Everyone has through there so far. He turns across. Another mark goes for footing, and another. He's on 3 marks. Very difficult opening section 1 there. Already on 3 marks. Over the top. Still on 3, still clear so far. I think that's another mark drop there. And it will go to a 5. He drops out of the obstacle. That's a fiasco for Mikhail Jalaber. 3rd rider out of 4 to fail section 1. Section 2. Nobody has completed this one so far. Jalaber is up. His balance just about there. Just lands it on the back tyre there through this section. Picked up an injury a couple of years ago at X-Trial Barcelona when he came off a high obstacle and aggravated an existing knee injury. Has been unlucky with injuries over his fairly short career, Mikhail Jalaber. So over the middle section. The second half, if you like, of section 2. This is where the power's needed to get over that archway. Minder Joan Moreira looking on. Is Jalaber going to be the first rider to complete? No, he's not. Comes out of the side of the section there. The early section's certainly decidedly tricky here this evening. Sections 1 and 2, only one of them has been completed. That was Toby Martin in section 1. Jalaber on 10 marks so far. Section 3. Now remember, over the final 3 sections of his lap, Gabriel Marchais only picked up 2 marks. But he's only got a couple of marks to play with here, Mikhail Jalaber. He could be out. Marchais cleaned section 3. Jalaber is clean so far. The first couple of obstacles there. Oh, he's dropped a mark for leaning there. The sump guard just clipped the obstacle as he landed. Jalaber could be in trouble here. Nicely up and over the final section. 1 mark dropped on section 3. It's 11 marks so far. Mikhail Jalaber. He's only got 1 more mark to play with. So the tie-break is the rider that goes first. The earlier starter. If there was a tie between Jalaber and Marchais, it would be Gabriel Marchais who would go through. Section 4. Nice rapid start. He's got time in hand, 2 minutes on the clock. take it steady here. Only got one mark to play with. He can't afford to drop any more. Nervous times for Mikhail Jalaber in front of his home crowd. And he dropped a mark there for leaning. I think we could be about to see Mikhail Jalaber drop out of a qualifying place here for round 2. Trying his hardest. Another mark will go for leaning there. It's going to be all over for Mikhail Jalaber. That's a great shame for the local lad. Keep it going and try to finish the section. He does so. That's 2 marks dropped, and he's on to 13 behind Gabriel Marseille and into the bottom 3 as it stands at the moment out of the 4 riders that have competed. Take, I think, a major shock if he was to make it through now. Final obstacle, section 5. Clean so far. 5 riders still to run in round 1 after this. Fairly rapid ascent there by Jalaber. Gabriel Marseille is safe, we know that. He's going into the heat section of round 2. Jalaber will have to sweat it out and wait and see what happens in the remainder of the competition. But that's a good run through section 5. And he clips the wall there as he comes over the top at the end of the section, but he is clean in section 5. 13 marks his score. Not currently in a qualifying place. Gabriel Marseille is the first man to confirm his place in round 2. Jalaber at risk. So those first 2 sections that are catching everyone out at the moment. So Marseille 12, Jalaber 13, Toby Martin 15, Jorge Casales on 21. Now, what can Jeroni Fajardo do? Locally based rider from Catalunya. Finder David Darnes gets into position. Jeroni Fajardo started the season opener strongly, only a mark away from the pace setters in the opening round, but fell apart somewhat in the heat stages, had to settle for 5th overall, failed to make the runner-up final. Been on the podium at X-Trial Barcelona a number of times. First was in 2005 at just 19 years of age. Every X-Trial Barcelona since 2002 has been won by Adam Rugg or Tony Bow. Straight away a mark drop for leaning again. That very first obstacle catching everyone out. So far this evening. Jeroni Fajardo mounted on the Sherco machine. Mark for footing there as well. Very tricky opening obstacle. Gaining his composure here, 2 marks dropped. Puts the bike back again to take a run at the next obstacle. We saw Toby Martin do exactly the same. Jeroni Fajardo going to be the first to complete section 1. Another mark drop for leaning there. Didn't quite get the back wheel up far enough. Try and keep it going. He's still got this tricky ascents to complete here. He's on 3 marks. 1 more and it's an automatic fail. Accruing more than 3 marks, you get an automatic score of 5. Fajardo is up. This is good. Is he going to be the first through section 1? Yes, he is. Well done, Jeroni Fajardo. 3 marks dropped, but he's the first to complete section 1. Section 2. Up onto the double A-frame obstacle. Make the leap across. This is good. Podium here 4 times at X-Trial Barcelona over the years. He wants another one, Jeroni Fajardo. He's up. This is good. Clean so far. Nobody has completed this section so far. So far, not a mark dropped by Gironi Fajardo. Here comes the tricky climb up this block onto the green archway. Vertigo motorcycle underneath it. Numbers himself up. This is a good run by Gironi Fajardo. Taking his time here. He's up, he's up. He's not quite up. The Spotapova now. Not much purchase on there. He's dropping marks for footing and he's out of the section. Still nobody has completed section 2. 8 marks so far for Gironi Fajardo. It's just that one ascent towards the end. They can't seem to get any purchase there to climb up and onto the archway. What about section 3? Gabriel Marseille was clean through this, but he's in trouble. He's gone. Fajardo is down. Fiasco on section 3. Fajardo onto 13 marks, same score already as Mikhail Jalaber. I said we might see a shock further up the order that could spare Mikhail Jalaber. Gironi Fajardo could be in big problems here. 13 marks. Got 2 to play with to stay ahead of Toby Martin. Back down that rock as well. He rescues that over the top. Needs to quicken up here. Running up 90 seconds on the clock. He's clean so far here. Minder encouraging him on. Oh, beautifully done. Nearly crashes into the other section there, but he's clean. 13 marks. He's turned things around slightly through section 4. His first clean of the lap. Now, the stairway. Section 5. Marks for Gironi Fajardo. Level with Mikhail Jalaber, but of course the tie-break is that Jalaber ran first on this lap, so he'd be ranked ahead of Gironi Fajardo. Keep his qualification hopes alive. Certainly looking unlikely that Jorge Casales will get through. 21 marks. It'll take a major shock for that to happen. That's quick there through from Fajardo. Clean at the moment, just these 2 blocks to negotiate. Mikhail Jalaber, the only rider who didn't drop a mark for footing on this final bit of the ascent. Only got a few seconds here. 15 seconds on the clock for Gironi Fajardo. He's going to have to go for it. Otherwise it will be a 5. Here he goes. Moves the bike across, he's done it, he's up, and he's through. Clean for Gironi Fajardo, 13 marks. Now that puts him joint second at the moment on points, but behind Mikhail Jalaber on time. Still uncertain for Fajardo. It's looking unlikely for Jorge Casales, certainly Toby Martin looking at risk as well. Mixed run for Gironi Fajardo. Certainly a surprise to see him drop out of section 3 at the first hurdle, but great recovery on section 4. That flick at the end of the section on the back wheel, beautifully done. Next up is the surprise of Andorra, the Italian Matteo Grattarola, mounted on the Beta machine. What a brilliant 2021 he has had. His only previous full X-Trial season was back in 2013 when he finished 6th in the World Championship. The only previous appearance since X-Trial Barcelona was that year when he finished 8th. He represented Italy a few times in the X-Trial of Nations as well, alongside the likes of Luca Petrella. Let's see what Grattarola can do then, representing the Beta factory team. The leading rider of the last few years, Benoit Bincaz, but has struggled with injuries, the Frenchman, this year, and did not qualify for the FIM X-Trial World Championship. Let's see what Matteo Grattarola can do then. Gabriel Marseille still the leader on 12 marks. Clock won't start until he enters the gate at the start of the first section, marked out on the floor of the Palau San Jordi Arena. Here he goes. Straight away will drop 2 marks, 1 for leaning, 1 for footing. It is such a difficult ascent there. It's the bike round again, 3 marks dropped. He put his foot down again. Quick burn out there, drag racing style to improve the grip on his rear wheel. Section 1 has proved the most problematic so far. He's going to score a 5. Oh, he's down! Nasty fall there for Mikhail Jalaber. Straight away the mark went in for leaning, which would have been a 5 anyway, but then he came off the back of the machine. Fiasco to begin the round for Mikhail Jalaber. Still nobody has completed Section 2. Can Mikhail Jalaber be the first? He surprised everyone. He was the only rider to complete the final section of lap 1 in X-Trial Andorra la Vella. Something even Tony Bow didn't quite manage. Oh, he's dropped a mark there. He's going to come down again. Oh dear. It's all going wrong for Mikhail Jalaber. 2 falls in his first 2 sections. Maybe the expectations after that good run in Andorra are getting to the Italian here slightly, maybe feeling a bit under pressure. See what he can do in Section 3. Well, only 2 riders have got through Section 1, Toby Martin and Gironi Fajardo. Everybody's failed Section 2. See what he can do on Section 3. He's up the first obstacle. A couple of riders have come to grief there. This is better from Mikhail Jalaber, the experienced Italian, 33 years of age. Avoids dropping the sump onto the top of the obstacle there. Things can happen if you land hard. They run at fairly low tyre pressures, which catch them out as well. Just avoids it again there. This is better on Section 3 from Mikhail Jalaber. One last big leap over onto the final couple of obstacles. Is it going to be a clean in Section 3 for Jalaber? Taking his time here. Powers it up, front wheel in the air. Put it onto the top of the obstacle, he's up. And he's over, that's more than it. Clean in Section 3, remains on 10 marks. Joint lowest score after 3 sections of this lap. Gabriel Marché was on 10 as well. Now, Section 4. It's through the relatively easy first couple of obstacles there. It's clean so far. Forward to drop another mark and still stay at the top of the leader. Mikhail Jalaber. Drop a mark for leaning there, just caught the bike in front of the rear wheel on the tree trunk there. Stays clean in the last 2 sections, which he won't. He'll be on top. He's dropped 1 mark so far, still just the 1 in Section 4. Through the final section. Mark dropped, he moves on to 11. Needs to clean Section 5, though, to stay above Gabriel Marché in the standings. Certainly looks as though Jorge Casales and Toby Martin will be eliminated at this stage. 3rd elimination place could go to a tiebreak, depending on what the final 3 riders on lap 1 achieve. Does go to a tie-break. Will be Gironi Fajardo who's eliminated. That's something of a shock. Clean so far in Section 5, Mikhail Jalaber. 20 seconds on the clock. Is he going to get up with a clean? Is he going to take the lead temporarily of X-Trial Barcelona? Yes, he is. What a recovery by Mikhail Jalaber. Clean in 2 of the final 3 sections, 11 marks, and he goes to the top of the table, a mark ahead of Gabriel Marseille. Grattarola on 11, Marseille on 12. Jalaber and Fajardo both on 13. As we said, on tie-break it will be Fajardo who is eliminated, but a disastrous start to his lap with 2 falls in the first 2 sections. Showing steely confidence over the final 3. He's dropped just 1 mark in 3 sections, Mikhail Jalaber. Nice recovery. Could he pull off further surprises here this evening in Barcelona? Next up is the man from the Basque country, Jaime Busto on the Vertigo. 3rd in the World Championship in 2018 and 2019. 1 X-Trial win in his career, that was X-Trial Paris in 2018. Dearly love to take a second tonight, and he's up and he's over that first part of section 1. First rider to have done that without dropping a mark for leaning or footing. Great start by Jaime Busto. Straight over the top, he flies that middle part of the section. This is a very confident start by young Jaime Busto, the 23-year-old from near Bilbao. 3rd place at X-Trial Andorra la Vella. Tie-break in the runner-up final with Grattarola. Is he going to clean section 1 here? May have dropped a mark for leaning right at the end there, we'll confirm that. The score to come through. I thought I saw the observer's hand go up right as he came out of the section there. Haven't had confirmation of that yet. In fact, that was a clean. It's just come up as a clean for Jaime Busto. First to clean section 1. Now, can he be the first rider to complete section 2? Drop him up for leaning there. It's the highest point of the section. Clean in section 1. Nobody else has managed less than 3 marks. Be a big advantage for Jaime Busto. Now, this is the part that nobody has completed so far. I think it's lack of traction with the rear wheel more than anything. Minder just inspecting the section there. Alex Sola. Here he goes. Jaime Busto is up. He's up, and he's done it. Oh, brilliant from Jaime Busto. And he's through. First rider to complete section 2. Just 1 mark dropped as well. Now, Busto is way ahead. At this stage, nobody else had got less than 8 marks after 2 sections. Busto's on 1. Now into section 3. This is superb from Jaime Busto. See the determination in his face as he mounted the first obstacle there. Bounces motocross-like across the gap. Everybody in double figures so far. Busto could be about to fire a warning shot or 2 here to his rivals, the World Championship contenders ahead of him. Through section 3, is it going to be another clean? Yes, it is. Just 1 mark in the first 3 sections. Busto is going through, that's for certain. Already confirmed his place in the heat section of the evening. Into section 4. First class riding from Jaime Busto. Looking confident. Looking perfectly balanced. Clean so far. Now the trickier bit. Climb up onto the rocks. Jaime Busto certainly isn't on the rocks though. Best we've seen so far. Getting in through his final seconds. Bounces it through. Superb stuff. Another clean for Jaime Busto. Just 1 mark so far. He'll be top of the table even if he fails section 5. Jorge Casales, that confirms he is eliminated. Toby Martin almost certainly will be out at this stage as well, and surprisingly, It looks as though there's a major disaster for either Adam Rugg or Tony Bow, as Busto, has he dropped a mark for leading there? I think he has. Yes, he has. Matters not, though. Already confirmed his place in round 2. Saying it's going to be, unless there's a major shock for one of the top 2, Gironi Fajardo will be out at the first stage. Plenty of time here, Jaime Busto. Can he complete this final manoeuvre without dropping another mark? It's the front wheeler onto the final obstacle. That is a superb lap by Jaime Busto. A couple of marks dropped. He is well out in the lead as it stands at the moment. 9 marks clear of Matteo Grattarola in second place. And that is certainly a warning shot to Adam Rugg and Tony Bow. Jaime Busto justifiably proud of his work there. It's 2 marks dropped. The first rider to complete section 2. First rider to complete that first element of section 1 as well. There's the really the defining moment. That is how to clear section 2. Brilliantly done by a very pleased, you could see there, the joy from Jaime Busto. He enjoyed that run. Now it is time for the first of the 2 World Championship contenders. Here is Adam Rugg, most experienced man in the field, veteran of 136 FIM X-Trial World Championship appearances, 38 times a winner, 4 times a world champion, but his last was back in 2006 before the era of Tony Bow's domination began. He's been on the podium every year since 2003. Since 2007, it's been second or third every time. He would dearly love to change that here tonight in this deciding round at X-Trial Barcelona. Let's see what Adam Rugg can do. Drop a mark for leading straight away is what Adam Rugg does, unfortunately. Couldn't quite match Jaime Busto. There goes another one for footing. So Rugg in a spot of bother already there, right at the start of his lap. Busto cleaned this first section. Rugg flies through the gap in the centre of the section there. Now he's just got this tall obstacle to negotiate. He's on 2 marks. So we'll be behind Busto after section 1. Here he comes. Adam Rugg makes it through. 2 marks dropped on section 1. Can he be the second rider, I should say, to complete section 2? Rugg lives just an hour's drive away from the Palau Sant Jordi here in Barcelona. First win of his career came here at X-Trial Barcelona in 2002. He won here in 2019, defeating Tony Bow by a single mark. Over the first obstacle of section 2 nicely. Surprisingly relaxed in the run-up to this event, just quietly confident, Adam Rugg. Now that is slightly easier bit of section 2, believing that he's down. Rugg goes down. Oh my goodness. And he takes our cameraman with him. 5 marks for Adam Rugg. Nose dives out of the section. He's on 7 marks into second place behind Jaime Busto. Of course, your placing within the top 6 determine which of the heats you go into as well. 2nd, 3rd and 6th go in heat 1 of round 2. 1st, 4th and 5th in the 2nd heat of round 2. Into section 3. Can Adam Rugg recover here? Been good so far. On the worst for his tumble. Rare fall for Adam Rugg. Just cleaning the obstacle there, Mark Rieber, normally minded to the Norwegian TRS rider Sondre Haga. Haga about to make it through clean in section 3. Gets back into the swing of things, but he's still second behind Jaime Busto as it stands at the moment. know that Jorge Casales and Toby Martin will be exiting the competition at this early stage. It's easy to forget, certainly for Casales. Unless Tony Bowe meets with disaster, it looks as though Gironi Fajardo will also go out in the first round. That's a shock. Adam Rugg enters section 4. Won't finish top, we know that. He's already behind Jaime Busto. 4 marks to play with. Try and finish ahead of Matteo Grattarola. Tiebreak, Grattarola finishes ahead because of his earlier start. Looking good here. 1 mark drops for Adam Rugg in section 4. Bounces around and out of the section, 1 mark drops. Now on 8 marks. So he can afford to drop 2 and still finish second, still be second in the classification with just Tony Bowe to go. To be more precise. Jaime Busto. That really was an exceptional piece of riding by Busto. One of the best laps we've seen this season in the FIM Trial World Championship. Adam Rugg ascends the first part of section 5. So far. Round 2, you'll see from the sticker there, they have to go onto that block to the right, making things a bit more difficult. Bypass it here, go straight up on this first lap. I go with just over 20 seconds on the clock. Clean so far. For the second single figure total of this preliminary round. Goes up and out of the section. Clean section 5 and finishes on 8 marks. Second place then behind Jaime Busto so far. But the undisputed master is still to come, Tony Bowe. Unless Bowe meets with a major disaster, it will be Jorge Casales, Toby Martin and Gironi Fajardo eliminated in the first round. Only real problem in that run was that nasty looking fall there in section 2. There's 3 marks dropped other than that. And now into the arena comes the man going for an incredible record extending 15th consecutive FIM Trial World Championship gold medal tonight. The one and only Tony Bowe. Originally from Catalonia, now resident in Andorra. Scored his 15th consecutive Trial GP World Championship in the summer as well. Nervous start for him in Andorra, but improved to ride a clear round in the final, not dropping a single mark in the grand final against Adam Rugg. Let's see what he can do. Oh, a fail straight away. 5 marks for Tony Bowe. Didn't even ascend the top of that first obstacle. That's a rare sight indeed. Again, proof that Tony Bowe is fallible. Only 1 rider, clean section 1, that's Jaime Busto. So let's see what he can do in section 2. Again, maybe those early stage nerves that we saw in Andorra once again, perhaps, for Tony Bowe. For a steady run through section 2. Midway through that Adam Rugg overshot one of the obstacles and came to grief. Bowe is up, clean so far. More like the Tony Bowe we know. Doesn't make the same mistake as Rugg, gets the front wheel under control. This is where Bowe's phenomenal upper body strength could tell to try and ascend that archway. Only Jaime Busto managed to clear that so far. Everybody else has failed section 2. Here he goes. Holds the front wheel of the bike, and that's Tony Bowe's strength, and he's done it. May have dropped a mark there midway through. Yes, 1 mark drop for Tony Bowe. 6 marks so far. Let's see how he can hold the front wheel of the machine in the air. Seemingly so much less effort than the other riders. He can hold the front of the bike up for much longer, and that's literally where his strength lies. All that upper body strength. It's Tony Bow's advantage. 6 marks so far. Clean so far through section 3. 7 marks to play with. Clean through section 3. As long as he avoids failures in the last 2 sections, then he will go through. First clean of the lap in section 3. 6 marks so far. 2 3-mark scores will put him level with Gabriel Marseille and secure him the last place in round 2. Clean so far through section 4. Biggest shock in X-Trial history if Tony Bow went out in the first round. I don't think that's going to happen somehow. Covered from his bad start on section 1. Making his time here with section 4. Onto the rocks. You see again the front wheel up. Flick it over these final couple of obstacles. He does so very nicely indeed. That's another clean for Tony Bow. 6 marks. He will be going through, even if he fails the final section. That will put him level with Matteo Grattarola on 11 marks. So 6 for round 2 are now known. Jorge Casales and Toby Martin are eliminated, and also, surprisingly, Jeroni Fajardo. That's a shock. He'll be out in the first round. Tie-break with Mikhail Jalaber. Just over a minute's left on the clock for him to ascend the stairway to heaven. He does so very quickly up there, so the quickest ascent I think we've seen of section 5. Roaring fans in full voice. Will it be a 3rd consecutive clean of the lap for Tony Bow? The 5th ride of the clean section 5 if he does so. It'll be almost effortless over the final couple of obstacles. Tony Bow will qualify in 2nd place for the 3rd consecutive clean. Finishes above his title rival Adam Rugg. It's Jaime Busto who tops the preliminary round though. Brilliant lap from Jaime Busto. He will face Matteo Grattarola and Gabriel Marseille. He'll be pleased to have qualified through in the 2nd round, Heat 1. Heat 2, I should say. In Heat 1, it will be Tony Bow and Adam Rugg together. And Mikhail Jalaber completing the lineup. So Bow and Rugg together in the group stage in round 2. So effectively, Heat 1 of round 2 of X-Trial Barcelona is going to decide the destiny of this year's world title, because one will make the final of Bow and Rugg, one will be in the runner-up final. It's Jaime Busto on top with just 2 marks dropped. A superb lap from Busto. Tony Bow in 2nd place and Rugg 3rd. That means they're in the same heat for round 2. Matteo Grattarola in 4th place, then Gabriel Marseille and Mikhail Jalaber complete the qualifiers. Jeroni Fajardo is out. That's a shock on a tie-break with Jalaber, Toby Martin and Jorge Casales completing the field. Seasons of again, certainly for Jorge Casales, last in both rounds. Toby Martin a pair of 8th places, but Fajardo, a surprise eliminee in 7th place.